Today I'll be teaching you how to play Protoss like a pro in 2025. In the current patch and meta, Protoss is considered to be pretty strong, but I do believe that you have to play a very specific way with certain builds and playstyles to make that happen. And today I'm going to teach you how to do just that. I'll make sure to include at least one game per matchup. Let's begin. Okay, the first game of the day is against Zerg, and specifically I believe this is Showtime Zerg. Showtime is the second best Protoss player in Europe right now, one of the best Protoss player in the world, and he's also quite good with Zerg, so this is a nice, funny matchup. Now, I think Protoss is strong in this matchup, but it really doesn't feel that simple to play. It's one of those matchups where very often you have just way fewer units than the opponent, and you just, need to make sure you survive against waves and waves of units, and when you do, you win. You can play this matchup in a couple different ways. You can play a bit more middle of the road, kind of aggressive, but not all in. I think the all-ins don't look that strong. Being a little aggressive, but going for macro looks strong. You can also be extremely passive, so it's kind of what you prefer. Now, there's two openings that this is what I heard from pro Protoss players, and not just regular pros, but like the really high-level ones. They say that you can either go for the hatch block, in which case you have to send the probe very fast. That's what I just did. Or you can go for a no scout and go gas first. So that's a little greedy. I think for 90% of you guys, this variation is going to be a little better. Like, it's just very awkward for Zergs to deal with this, and it just makes you feel like you have a bit more control of the game. I think in general, I don't really like playing greedy against Zerg, because if they get wind of it, they can just play greedier than you, and then your greed did nothing. Now, I actually sent this probe in quite late, probably because I was yapping too much again. Usually what I like to do is I keep the probe there until 55 seconds or so, and then I know that he already moved on to take another hatchery. Sometimes they fake it. That's why I like to stay for a little while longer. And now after you block the hatchery, what you can do is this. You just start annoying their mineral patches. Which actually, you might think that it looks useless, but it's quite a lot of minerals, and very often they end up straight up pulling a drone to try and attack you. Since you scout so early, you might as well do this. If you don't, you're just missing out on a couple of free minerals. Obviously, it's not easy to do, especially because you have to place buildings and stuff while you're doing it. But it's definitely worthwhile if you do have the APM. So what you can do is you pretty much mine from the patch, and then to stop mining and mine again, you press stop, and then you do it again. Now my cybernetic score just finished, so we're going to chrono an adept. Important detail over here, by the way, is start the Stargate before warp gate. This really is quite important. Now I am going to lose the probe here, which sucks a little bit. I didn't actually expect 4 links to come out, because most Zergs make 2. That is, well, it's a little bit of a mistake by me. It's really not the biggest deal ever, though. The thing you want to have the most... wait, that sentence was weird. The thing you want to look out for the most is that the links don't get across the map too fast. Because if they do, they could be running in right now, as this adept is just still building, right? And that's very annoying. Now, I like to go for the double chrono boost on the adepts. Going for 2 adept pressure feels quite nice. Let's see. Okay, there's 1 ling over there. Okay, that is quite interesting. I'm going to show you guys a cool mover that I have. I keep the adept in between the base. And then when the second adept shows up, I shade them both into the next base in the same time. Okay, I'm actually going to go for a couple of drones here. He was quite ready for it, but this is still very annoying for him, of course. I'm not going to get this one. Probably not the next one either, but that's okay. Gonna go for a second gateway. This dude stays at home. Oh, he does have speed quite early. I didn't expect that. Okay. Couple of mistakes here being made by me. Yeah, realistically, I shouldn't have made those mistakes, but it doesn't really feel too bad. Here I can give you guys a little tip. If you have a little bit of a rougher early game like that, what I would recommend is that you... Because normally you would want to take the third base right now. What I would recommend instead is that you just start the Twilight Council beforehand already. And then you can still pressure with the Oracle, and then you can just take the third base with the second Oracle instead. Let's see if we have a Spore Collar over here. We probably do, yeah. He's a Protoss player, right? So he should know what to do against this. Let's see. No more drones to kill. Okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and take that next base. Second Oracle's finished. We'll throw an energy recharge on that, and this is going to be quite comfortable. Now, normally I don't actually like to go for glaive attacks. I like to play it a little more Yeah, just regular macro base and go for blink. But very specifically, if this happens that I have to delay my third base, I like to go for a low glaze attack. I'm not going to make it super committed. I'm just going to go for 4 gateways here. Now, this is one of the really nice things about the energy recharge. It'll give your Oracle so much energy. You can just kind of keep it on and hunt away the links, basically, which is very, very annoying for them. Let's see, I saw a couple links over here. He's making a Roach Warren. Let's see. I try to get a couple drones, but Spore Crawlers are very strong these days, as you can see. So you want to be extremely careful with that. Gonna Chrono Boost this guy one more time. Start routing to my third base. I could recall this. I'm actually just gonna keep it here for now. I'm not quite sure if he saw where it escaped to. So this could be a little bit annoying for him. Gonna start a Forge now. Now, depending on the amount of damage I do, I am going to decide the follow-up. So, I just moved. That's seriously unlucky. Wow, I just moved away the Oracle. Okay, that is, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call that a mistake, to be honest. That's actually just unfortunate. It's not like he was scouting for anything, so that sucks. But yeah, depending on how much damage I do, I'm going to decide the follow-up. So I think I'm not going to do that much damage here, actually. And I just say that because he had good scouting and he had the Roach Warren already. So I think I'm just going to go for Blink and +1. If I did a lot of damage, I would have made a Robo instead. And then... Oh, he failed the wall off. Oh, no. That's a bit painful for him. Gonna shade 1 Adept over here, because that's annoying. Now, since he failed that wall off, I'm just gonna keep going with this attack, really. I'm really gonna shade into the third base. That's gonna kill quite a lot of drones. You guys go over there, 2 Adepts go over here. And you really just want to cause a lot of chaos, and then you want to end up killing a bunch of drones. It doesn't really matter that you're going to lose these Adepts. This is what you want to do. Now, I could have maybe... Yeah, I probably should have added a couple gateways a little earlier. As you can see, my income is really good behind this. I think I could have gone for a Stasis Ward as well at the same time. That would have been a nice play. Gonna start adding a couple Stasis Wards over here now, because he's probably gonna go for a counterattack. Okay, he's making... Yeah, I'm gonna make even more gateways then. I saw even more roaches pop out, even though that was not entirely necessary for him to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start adding a bunch of cannons, and I'm gonna start getting a couple Stasis Wards as well. Here I can drop another Stasis Ward. I just want to be careful. Oh no, that was in the range of the Spore. I literally saw that I was about to die as I looked at it, painfully enough. What it looks like to me is that he also sent his queens across the map, because otherwise the queens would have been there to deal with the Oracle, I think. Gonna Chrono Boost those one more time. And now I'm basically... Did I see something over here? Oh, it's a... Okay, it's a thingy. I'm basically just all-inning defensively. I'm actually gonna go for a second Forge here, because I'm not 100% sure what he's gonna do. What I'm gonna do from this point on is going to be a little experimental, okay? I haven't been experimenting with... Wait, he's actually not gonna attack me? That's kind of crazy, though. I haven't been experimenting with the double Forge style in a while. I usually like to get Storm and then go for Immortals and whatever. Oh yeah, that's a really good Stasis Ward, exactly. That's the kind of stuff you want. I'm just going to be adding more and more of those. That Stasis Ward is going to be huge, by the way. Yeah, look at this. This is why you want Stasis Wards, guys, okay? They're pretty freaking good. In fact, I can blink on top of those Ravagers, I think. Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to try and kill those Ravagers because there's enough in the Stasis. Make sure to micro back from those. That Stasis Ward is going to come offline pretty soon, so I'm going to want to be careful for that. I'm moving a couple here to the right side so I can blink in this gap. That's basically the idea behind this. Going to keep warping in units. He's going to go for the pylon, but there's another pylon covering it, so I don't think we're going to be in too much trouble. Going to start my attack, my secondary upgrade, sorry, because I'm pretty sure that we are going to defend this relatively easily at this point. He's already kind of starting to back off, it looks like. Now, you never want to be too overconfident, because Zerg can make a lot of units, okay? So you never want to just run out there immediately. Like, you can tell he's really trying to go for it. I'm just going to keep blinking back to my batteries. He's targeting the Cybernetics Core. And there you go. Even though we had a terrible start, this was a relatively easy game. Now, I'm definitely going to try to make sure there's another PvZ in here, because I would like you guys to see the really standard play as well. But I think this was just a really good game when it comes to adapting. Once again, we're playing against Showtime Zerg. He knows really well how Protoss players play, so you can guarantee he's good in this matchup. He's 5.9k as well, which at this point is about top 20 Grandmaster. But this game was just me playing semi-poorly and then just making good adaptations, right? Like I had a tough early game, made the Twilight Council instead of going for the third base first. Then I saw that he was most likely going to defend my attack. So instead of going for mass gateways right away, I first went for the blink and +1. Then I still ended up getting damage. So then I figured he was going to all-in me. Didn't see the queens either. So I added the extra gateways. And here you can see that very often you can make these really logical transitions where, you know, you don't necessarily have to play perfect. You just kind of have to try and get a relaxed view on this game. Like, I'm not kidding. Legitimately, this might have been my worst PvZ early game in a while. But I read him like a book. I transitioned, and that is a fantastic game against a very high MMR Zerg. Let's keep it going. Okay, the second game is also against a Zerg, so that is perfect. This game, I'm going to play a little more conservative in the early game. Make sure that we don't have a terrible start like last game. And then I'm going to be able to show you guys my more standard gameplay, the gameplay that I really like. In general, the last game was a pretty good formula for how a good PvZ looks like, just without the bad play in the start, pretty much. Like, it's doing something aggressive that's not 100% all-in. Like, for example, I could have made 6 gate glaives there. The result would have been very similar, but my follow-up would have sucked. And then I'm suddenly in trouble, right? So doing, like, medium aggression, you always kind of want to start with an Oracle. That's also what I mentioned in the intro. You have to play very specific builds. I do think you always want to start with Oracles. At least one. You can make up to 3 or maybe even more, actually, but at least 1. And then you can do something aggressive after. You can play glaives or more commonly, some kind of blink timing attack. And then you can take it from there. You can start reacting. If you know your opponents, you have even more chance to do good adaptations. For example, if you know someone only makes Hydras, never goes for Roaches, you could go for Early Storm and hit a timing attack with that. If you know they always play Roaches and mass Roaches and try to attack you, maybe you could even just make more Stalkers like I did last game and just take a 4th base and wait for them to attack you. Because Roaches are going to be pretty terrible in the late game. This is already quite annoying for him here. I blocked him twice. I also think there's a mental aspect to this. Like, this is one of the things that I really hate about playing Zerg. Just that you get annoyed forever. Like, first I blocked his hatchery, and then I'm blocking his freaking mineral patches, and there's just nothing he can really do about it. The only thing he can do about it is pull a drone to attack me, which obviously feels like crap, because you're losing a lot of mining time by doing that. Yeah, just gonna keep doing the same thing over here. And then you don't have to make it too hard for yourself. Like, you can go full try hard and, you know, only really deny the mineral patches at the last second and this and that, and then go back to build stuff. I don't think you have to go that try hard. If you have to make a building, just go and click on another patch so you can make it somewhat relaxed without having to stress yourself out like crazy, right? Now, okay. I'm gonna saturate my gas a little earlier than last game. Last game I was like a couple seconds late on that, which is a very small mistake, but that's okay. I'm gonna go for the Stargate again over here. You can also build the Stargate over here, then it's a little closer, but I kind of just like making it easy for myself. Oh, he took this base, looks like. Huh. I was expecting him to take this one. I feel like that's what I see more often, but that's okay. I'm gonna go for the same strategy with the Adepts because I think it is cool. So this time, I'll just do it better. That's the idea. That's usually what I tell myself before messing it up twice in a row, by the way. So be careful if you're gonna adopt that mentality. Okay, there's the first links. I was kind of waiting for them. Now, my Adept is already here. That's the main reason I keep the probe in front of their base, by the way, is that you want to see where the lings are going, pretty much. I could go for another Shade. He just gave me another Zergling, which is nice. Should be able to kill that one as well. This one is going to go across. There we go. It's going to be another Ling going down. Stargate finished. And then, I think if I time this perfectly, we're going to get a really nasty Shade over here. Let's see. Oh, he took... Okay, well, I didn't actually know that this existed, I'll be honest. I guess I need to play the new maps a little more. Okay, here we go. Oh, the other one didn't actually Shade. Or, no, it did. It was just a little late. Yeah, this is really, really good damage, by the way. Okay, let me block this. Oracle's on the way. This one I'm going to Shade home. This one I want to keep it home. And this is, yeah, this is a way better start, though. Gold bases are a little scary. I must have seen that before. I just completely forgot about it, really. Yeah, maybe I'll get another one. There we go. He actually blocked it by accident. That was a little unfortunate for him. Spore is barely not finished. Oh, wow. That's... Yo, that... No! Oh, I misclicked. I had another... I don't know what I had. Another unit on the hotkey. Oh, that sucks. Oracle's gonna be in time to save this. Don't worry about it. But that was I guess I clicked that probe or something? I have no idea what I just clicked. That is interesting. I'm gonna go for 2 oracles this game. Then I'm gonna go for the Twilight and Forge after the 3rd base. I'll recharge this oracle. And then I'm gonna send this bad boy across, I think. I can just kill these links. I don't have to, you know, how do you call it? Deactivate the oracle. Like I mentioned before, it's pretty chill to just keep it on forever. And maybe I'll start dropping a little stasis ward action over here, because I do like stasis ward. Gonna make a couple more gates. Need to be very careful over here. This is one thing that I've noticed is pretty nice to do, is to just not warp units if you don't have to as Protoss. So it would be very easy for me to be warping in the depths now. Oh, that's gonna be a nice stasis ward. But you also just don't really have to. Like, the oracle is gonna keep me safe against everything. I literally just deactivated that oracle, by the way. It's a little unfortunate. I guess maybe I could warp in a couple over here. And then I'm gonna go for the extra gateways, just in case he's gonna dive me after. And this is pretty much my standard setup, what you guys are witnessing right now. We go for a couple oracles, however many it is, doesn't necessarily matter. And then we go for the 6-gate blink. And then we're gonna pressure with that. That is pretty much the idea. Here we got another energy recharge. He does not want to fight that, because even, like, the one oracle just kills things so freaking fast. It's crazy. And I'm just gonna keep it on again, like I mentioned before. My opponent spent all his larva making all of those units, which is quite inefficient. We also have a really nice target, by the way, where we're gonna be able to attack that base, which is very nice. Make sure to keep chronoing that as well. Probably kill that creep tumor. And now I'm gonna deactivate it, because I'm pretty sure we have enough here. Gonna make a couple more pylons over here. Chrono boost the blink one more time. The reason why I want to keep a little bit of energy on these oracles right now is because when you attack, you want to be putting down stasis wards, so he can't surround you as easily. Makes it so much harder for the Zerg to play if you just put in stasis wards. Now here there's a couple options you have, okay? You can go for Storm behind it right away, or you can take the 4th base. I think the Storm option is a little bit better in today's meta, so I'm gonna go for 6 gas, make Storm, and yeah, once again we should be able to attack this base pretty easily. I can actually, look, I can stand on top of the stasis ward. That's kind of disgusting, actually. I really like that. Okay, we're gonna activate these. I'm gonna bring my oracles a little closer so I can blink to the high ground over here, get a lot of free shots. As you can tell, he was very well prepared for this attack, but it doesn't really matter. Lost a couple stalkers over there. He used a lot of larva. I'm gonna go for +2, actually. Not gonna make the next upgrade yet. I'm gonna use 1 recharge on that. And now I think I'm gonna go for the 4th base. I could have put the stasis a little further in advance. That would have been smart to do for sure. I'm just gonna play it very chill here, because I know that it's a hard position for him having to defend this gold base. That's a little bit of a mistake by me for sure. Okay, let's see. He might... Oh, he did actually realize that. That was well done by him. Just gonna make sure to back off. Once again, you don't have to stress it that much. This is why I like to go for 6-gate blink instead of 8. You're witnessing it right here. I could have done way better with the micro there. Like, the micro there was really not fabulous, I'll be honest. Like, it's... You guys could probably see it as well. It's pretty mediocre. Stasis wards weren't that good. But if you're playing, 6-gate instead of 8, you just don't have to worry that much about doing damage. Now, this could be a problem because I don't think I have enough energy on these. It's going to be close. No, I barely don't have enough energy. Okay, that's okay. I'll just try and retake it. I'm not going to have Storm for his big attack, I don't think. I wish I had... Yeah, I actually can't warp in there. I'll have to use one of these. Here we go. I'm just gonna keep warping in Stalkers for now, because it kind of looked like he might go for an attack. Should have saved a little more energy on one of those oracles, then I would have been able to defend this a little more easily. Okay, I'll just energy recharge this one. There we go. Okay, that's gonna die. And I think now we're gonna see an attack at the front, most likely. I think that makes sense. I'm actually gonna put a couple stasis wards over here in case he decides to attack this side. Okay, what I'm gonna... Actually, no, I should have warped Templar because I forgot I already used the energy recharge. I was thinking I could just use 1 on the High Templar, but I just used it, so that's not gonna work. And now what I like to do personally, this is something you don't see too many pros do, but I go for the double robo because I really like getting immortals out. I feel like it's super hard to play against lurkers if you don't... Oh, he's gonna go for a... You can tell instantly. He wanted to go for a big surround. Yeah, exactly. Like the way... Like it was just not enough units on that side, so it just looked like a massive surround instantly. I don't think I'm gonna go for the extra gateways. Storm is done. Okay, need to be very careful over here. This is gonna be a nice storm. I can run with these, actually. I think I have enough space to run. Exactly. Can just make sure to fall back. There's no rush in this fight whatsoever. Probably just blink forward and kill a couple of those banelings. And then soon we're gonna start Immortal production, and we're gonna be pretty chilling over here. Let's see, I probably should have... Actually, no, I can use an energy recharge. Let's see, I'm gonna put stasis wards on the left side, and then I can move out to the right. Make a couple cannons over here. Cannons really are your best friend when you're playing PvZ, by the way. I haven't been making enough of them yet, but they're really awesome. It is a bit of a risky fight, but because I just took a good fight, I'm going for this right now. I feel like it's very close over here. Gonna make a couple Immortals at home, start warping in some Templar as well. And then after I kill this base, we're gonna be backing off here. I have like 3 storms in this army, so it feels a little more relaxing to go for this. I'm gonna go for mass gates. I think in today's meta, it's better to not attack too much. Like, I've noticed that a lot of good players just kind of tend to chill back. I want to tell you guys to be careful when doing that, mostly for the reason that lurkers exist. And lurkers are going to be pretty hard to go up against when you don't have any high-tech stuff. I mean, this is why you want cannons. Cannons very good against this, of course. There we go. Yeah, pretty decent-sized counterattack too, but it's just not really going to do that much. Okay, I have... Oh, the Prism is actually going to finish soon. Yeah, I think we can actually move across here. It's a little risky because he has Banelings, right? Never going to be super easy against Banelings, but I think we can actually go across here. Prism is going to be on the way as well. And then we're just going to move down here to the next side. Maybe it looks like he's going to be a little distracted. Use a couple of Revelations to kill the creep as well. That'd be nice. I think he has a pretty decent sized surround here. Exactly. Okay, I can just go back here. Storms are going to be nice. Can blink forward on those Ravagers. Those are going to get absolutely cooked. Now we have a Prism over here. I can use the supply I just lost to warp in a bunch of stuff. Now, if I'm good on my timing over here, I can actually storm a lot of those links. You see, can I do that? I'm not sure. I've never even actually tried storming, like, okay, stasis links. That's my first time. Gonna morph a couple Archons. Prism can now go into the main. I'm still maxed, by the way, which is brutal. Gonna start my +3 attack as well. I'm just gonna get in here. Probably make another stasis ward as well. That would be nice. I lost Zealots here, so I can use the lost supply in the main base. Get a couple cannons here. Good transition to go for is the fleet beacon, both for the mothership and the carriers, by the way. Really good transition. I'm actually gonna use this to drop here again. I think he has some Banelings, but probably not too much, so I can just go forward here. Oh, he does actually have a decent amount of Banelings here. Yeah, just gonna activate that, make sure my Stalkers don't take too much splash. I mean, the Archons are gonna be ridiculously good here, of course. He's making more Banelings right now. Just gonna go back into the main, warp a million Zealots again, and I think that is going to be it. I'm actually gonna blink forward on this army because he also has to deal with the main base, which is gonna be very annoying. If he follows here, he can't deal with the main base at all. And that is pretty much it for this game, I think. I mean, if he wins from here, then I would really have to mess it up. I do want to advise you guys to be a little careful on the blink forwards. This game I blinked forward a decent amount, but it was really only because I could tell that the fights were super good. I have lost games in the past blinking forward against Zerg, though, because before you... Like, Zerg has a lot of production, right? Before you know it, 50 links join up, your units are surrounded, all of a sudden your Stalkers are 3 times worse. So try to play it very chill. I'm actually extremely happy with this game, because strategically I think it was pretty much perfect. My micro at the start wasn't that good. My micro towards the end was really good. Those stasis wards were nice. The storms were nice as well. And this is pretty much how you want to play PvZ. Now... if you struggle against really fast lurkers and you don't like the Immortals, what you can do, and what I think is more common, is that you can just make the Fleet Beacon and the second Stargate instead of the Robos, and then you can get fast Tempest out. You need 1 Oracle for Revelation. Don't try to use Observers too much for detection. It's not as reliable against Zerg with Overseers and usually Hydra. So use Revelation for detection. Pick them off with the Tempest. You can do Zealot Rumbys and stuff. But this was an amazing formula. I mean, I just watched this guy play an extremely close game against Harstem. Harstem, obviously, fantastic Protoss player. Definitely better than my Protoss as well. I'm not trying to pretend I'm better than him. But yeah, this really shows that if you have the right formula, you execute the right strategy, you can really win a lot with Protoss. I think that's it for the PvZs for this episode. Let's go to the other matchups. Okay, the third game is going to be our first PvP. Now, just a fair warning, PvP is definitely the hardest matchup to teach for the Protoss matchups because it's just incredibly stylistic. I can give you guys a easy example from the top 3 Protoss players in Europe, which are MaxPax, Showtime, and Skillis. MaxPax plays 1 gate expand every single game. Recently, he switches it up sometimes, but really, for the last like 5 years or something ridiculous, 1 gate expand virtually every game. In Showtime, probably the most reasonable of the 3, plays 1 gate expand on maps where it's good, 2 gate expand on maps where it's not as good to 1 gate expand, and sometimes, depending on the opponent, going for a proxy. And then you have Skillis, who currently is proxy roboing every single game. And they're all doing pretty well. So you kind of have to pick your own style here. I can still show you how to play my style well, but it's, yeah, like if you're really good at attacking and you don't like macro games that much, consider going for the 1-base proxy robo. If you're really good at defending, right, and going into the macro game from that, consider the 1 gate expand. If you like a bit more safer, middle-of-the-road regular games where you can either go for a timing attack or macro, then you should probably be playing the 2 gate expand here. Now, okay, this guy does not have a wall, which is extremely interesting. Ah, okay, well, I mean, it's... Oh, that's a bit annoying. I didn't see the probe. Okay. Yeah, I'll teach you guys a quick adaptation. But I can actually block his cyber for a little bit, which is annoying. Okay, here we go. So I was gonna go for a 1 gate expand here. If they probe scout you, you have to make the gas and the second pylon before trying to go for the nexus, because it's gonna get blocked anyway. Now, to get back into the topic what I was talking about, 1 gate expand, in my opinion, is the easiest way to win games at the highest level. I feel like I've beaten so many good Protoss players, even before really knowing what I should be doing in this matchup, just by playing 1 gate expand, because it's really not as hard to defend as you would think. Now, this game is going to be a little crazy, because my opponent was also going for a 1 gate here. If he was going for a 2 gate, I would have gone for the Robo, which is my personal favorite. Oh, that's actually very nice for me killing that probe. Which is my personal favorite build to defend. The reason why it is my favorite is because the Robo blind counters almost every single all-in that they do reactively. Now, this guy is playing a little bit weird. So I am going to... Okay, I think I know what's going on, though. I'm going to play this a little crazy, and the reason why I'm going to play it a little crazy is because the standard way to play this is not as exciting. So the standard way to play this, 1 gate expand against 1 gate expand, is to both go for Stargate, and then you're going to go into Phoenix Mirror. I think it's pretty hard to win by skill expression in a Phoenix Mirror, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a second gate instead. Oh, it looks like he could be proxying me as well, by the way. We're gonna have to be a little careful with that one. I mean, that pylon is not the biggest deal right now, but if an Oracle comes in, it would be. I didn't see anything with my Phoenix on the way, so I think it's safe to go out for now. I barely do not have the extra force field, so I have to be very, very careful here. And then I'm actually gonna go for a Twilight Council. But yeah, in Phoenix against Phoenix, it's really, you're just spamming... Where did my Zealot go? Oh, I brought it back by accident? Oops, that was not intentional. You're just spamming Phoenixes against each other, and at some point someone is going to make a mistake by going a bit too far forward at some point, and then, you know, that guy's going to lose. That's pretty much what it is. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go for the 2 gate into Twilight. The hardest part of this is defending an Oracle. But yeah, I was going to say, I see the Twilight. I didn't think there was an Oracle because it was too late already. But it's still a completely fine situation here. I think I'm going to Chrono boost my probes, actually. I think that would be nice. He's not going to be able to kill this Phoenix. Let's see how many gateways he has, and then we can decide. Okay, so he's going to go up to 3, I think it is. He's going to go up to 4. I think I'm actually just going to match him, because I feel like... Yeah, exactly. We have like 5 more probes than him. Yeah, indeed. Okay, so that's going to be the right idea here. He doesn't have anything that can give him vision. You would think. I'm going to say very carefully, because what you can do, that's a move that I really like to make, is you can hallucinate a Phoenix with the Sentry, giving vision, and then blink up into the main base. So it is technically possible for him to blink here. In fact, I'm going to reinforce this with a second pylon, I think. I'm going to keep scouting to make sure he's not scamming us by secretly going for an expansion. Gonna make a third gas. And after this, I am intending to take my third base. He could totally be doing a fake out here, just not warp units from the gates and take a third base. In that case, I'm gonna do the move that I just said. I'm gonna hallucinate a Phoenix to get vision and then blink it to the main base, basically. He's not... Okay, it was already finished. I was gonna say, he's not chrono boosting the Twilight or something. There's no third base yet. Okay, look, there is a thing over here. Oh, it actually sucks that my... I'm just gonna try to stay in position. I have the battery up here too. He doesn't see me. Okay, now he sees me. He was trying to see if I was in position. That's well done by him. I wouldn't be surprised if he would try to randomly blink up there, but he didn't go for it. Yeah, I don't have blink yet. That's why I'm a little bit scared. There we go. He just blinks away. I'm gonna take my Nexus now. And I'm gonna go for another Phoenix Scout to just see over and over and over what he's doing. It's a bit weird to play PvP with the energy recharge in the game. As you can see, I pretty much just have permanent map hacks. But, you know, if you have the tools, you should use them, right? Because if I wasn't using them, I would not know what's up. Okay, that's still no base by him. I have a couple options here. My favorite option is usually... Oh, actually, he was very tunnel vision on killing that. I can blink to the back of this. Oh, we're gonna get a nice trade here, actually, for sure, yeah. Okay, since he still has no third base, I'm going to make an extra set of gateways before the forge. I would have made the forge earlier. I can actually just blink. I have so many stalkers. Here we go, look at this. Maybe I can get another one over here. No, that's gonna be it for now. Okay, and then, since we took a good trade, I'm gonna go for the forge. I can saturate my base pretty soon, and that's what we're gonna do. My favorite way to play PvP nowadays, as you can see, there's a lot of adaptations and stuff you have to do. But my favorite ways to play it is to go for 6-gate Blinkstalker with 1 forge. And it just feels like an extremely good style to outplay your opponents with and go into the macro game, right? Okay, he blinked away, so I can blink behind him. I don't think he has that much stuff, really. Probably gonna try to snipe one more of my dudes. At this point, since the trades have been so favorable, I am going to make some cannons. Because it could be DTs, and I don't really want to make a robo right now. Cannons are going to be useful later on. I really just want to keep warping in Stalkers for the most part. I'm going to get 1 sentry, just so I can get a double scout off again. I have enough energy for it. There we go. We hallucinate 2 Phoenixes. One is going to go that way, one is going to go that way. And then I'm going to feel pretty safe. And then we're going to start gearing up to take our 4th base here. So I'm pretty much just going to keep playing mass Stalkers. I can go for a double forge as well. The only reason I could have gone for that in this game is because we just... I think we just took a lead. We scouted, we had more probes early on, we survived the attack. That was pretty much all that happened so far, right? There's nothing over here. Okay, so he went for the robo instead. Okay, he's gonna go for just a more regular style instead. He's gonna go for Immortals and charge. Yeah, perfectly reasonable stuff to play, really. That does mean that I have to keep the pressure on, because his army is gonna be stronger in the long run, right? Now, one thing I could do... Actually, I'm gonna do that, yeah. I'm gonna go for... Oh, I like this idea. Okay. I'm gonna go for a 6 gas and a Templar Archive, so I can make Archons against his style, which are gonna be really good against these Zealots and the Immortals here. Now, this fight is quite nice. I'm just kiting and killing a lot of the Zealots, basically. That's the idea. That's what you want to do. I'm not actually gonna go for that. He's gonna blink, and then I'm gonna blink away myself. Exactly. So, killing away the Zealots... Before he gets to your base... Oh, can I kill it before it runs? Oh, no, I couldn't. Okay, that's unfortunate. Actually did manage to escape. Yeah, you just want to keep shaving off Zealots basically all the time. And that's the best way to go about it. I can go for the blink in the main, but I think he might be trying to go for an attack soon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... Oh, well, it's too late now. Okay. Then I'm not even going to go for the Archons. I'm just going to keep warping in Stalkers pretty much. It's going to be a pretty good fight here anyway. As you can see, Mass Stalker is very, very, very good defensively. At least until he gets too many Immortals out and stuff. Here, I'm gonna move across a little bit. Not actually to try and kill him, but just to, you know, continue shaving off Zealots pretty much. Here, I don't see anything over here. Then I'm gonna fall back momentarily. You want to be very careful how you move out on the map, depending on... Oh, I need a pilot for that battery. Depending on the amount of vision you have. Because here right now, I wouldn't know if he's doing a massive Zealot counterattack on my base over here or into the natural, right? So I just want to make sure that I'm reasonably in position to deal with those things. I'm gonna make a couple more cannons here. Let me get this watchtower. Should have gotten that before. Still no force base for Mr. Guy. Then what I'm gonna do is just take more gases because I'm playing the Archon style. Yeah, indeed, no base. Okay. Well, he could technically have one in the top right side, but I don't think so. I'm going to add a couple more gates. The reason why I'm adding those gates is because I'm making mostly Archons, which are going to cost gas. And then I can balance out my eco by making, spending the minerals on that. Whenever you see the opponent's army, by the way, general tip, you should be doing this in every matchup, every single race, is whenever you see your opponent's army, you want to click on it to see the upgrades. Okay, you want to know if he had 0-0 right now, well, I'm about to have +2, then I know I'm really not in a hurry at all. Yeah, there's nothing over here. My opponent is taking another base as well, so I'm going to feel a little more comfy going across, and I'm going to get my 5th base as well. Now let's see, what are the upgrades? I don't see any units over here. Okay, I'm actually going to play this a little safe. I was thinking about blinking forward, but that is maybe a little bit too psychotic. Ah, look, okay, so there are the DTs. They did finally show up. You could totally warp in DTs over in the front as well, so I want to be careful. Oh, it's actually going to die to that. Did I make the robo in the end? I'm not quite sure I did. This fight over here was pretty good. I'm just going to back off now. Oh, I didn't actually make the robo. Yeah, exactly. Okay. It's a little painful. We're not going to lose that base, but it's a little bit annoying that I'm not going to be able to mine from that from a while. Gonna warp in some more Stalkers, and then I'm gonna get this base up and running. Second Forge would be nice now, I think. Let's see, I'm gonna bring all these homies back over here. I kind of would have expected him to back off already, to be honest. Okay, he's definitely way too far forward with this army. So I'm gonna go for these Immortals before the reinforcements arrive. Okay, let me just make sure to blink on that DT, because otherwise it's gonna be super annoying. And there we go. I did take that's the first hit that I really took this game, so let's keep that in mind, that we might not be as far ahead as we felt before. I'm gonna make a prism, send it to the main base. All in all, I think I didn't really make a big mistake there. The biggest thing that I did wrong was just maybe slightly greedy on the robo, right? Got it a little bit too late. Double Forge going up. That is an observer. Oh yeah, this observer still lives. I remember shooting it, and maybe that's why I just assumed that it was dead, but obviously it wasn't. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to go for a beautiful killing move. And you might be surprised that I call it a killing move, because you might not even think that we're ahead. But I think that we're in a good enough position that we can do that, especially having killed those Immortals. Now, when people go for DTs, it's quite likely they go for DT Blink as well. So you want to be a little careful, add like a second pylon and stuff, things like that. Gonna move this Observer up a little more. And then 10 Zealots into the main with good upgrades, I feel like might get the trick done, or the job done rather. I do have better upgrades than him, especially with +3 about to finish. Okay, he saw my... That's really good. You guys saw that? I made contact with his army, visual contact. That's going to be aware of my army being out here, and then we can push forward at a very, very annoying time for him. I do have an Observer somewhat nearby if I need it. And it's going to be really hard for him to micro against this, because he's going to be focused on the main base at the same time. As you can see, he kind of walked into my concave over there. Now, this is a move that I like to do, but it's actually quite questionable, and that's warping in Stalkers into the main. Because you can get yourself in really nasty positions. Now, at this point, I do think his Immortals are too far forward again. I'm going to just blink these over here. Make sure to kill these Immortals. And then, since he barely has units left, I think we can take this trade well enough. And look, this is exactly what I mean. Like, it's such an annoying position for him to have to attack into with Zealots, right? I'm going to warp more over here. Blink behind the mineral line. Kill the probes. Like, that was a lot of Zealots that he had, but we still won. Keep in mind, we also have the upgrade advantage over here. I'm going to click the Nexus. No GG is called. And another perfectly fine game. Now, this game was a little bit of a crazy one, mostly because of the start. I think the start that he went for, you're pretty much never going to see. If they one-gate expand, they're either going to wall here or in the front. What he did, I definitely would not... This is the greediest thing I've ever seen. No wall of one-gate expand into Twilight. I think if we played Oracle, it would have been good for us. If we played two-gate opening, it would have been good for us. If we proxied, it would have been good for us. And even now, it was good for us. So this one, I would not recommend. My build is fine, going for the Stalker into the Sentry, just so you make sure you can scout. One very important tip, early game TVP, is always be ready for Adepts and Oracles. In this case, I knew it wasn't going to be multiple Adepts because he only had one gate. But you need to make sure that you can wall this off. So let's say he went for 2-gate. I would have gone for the Robo instead, but I would have built it here. So he can wall this space off with a pylon or battery if the Adept shade in. And then at the this is also very, very important. If you think you're going to get harassed by an Oracle, even if you have too many probes here, you probably want to keep the probes in your mineral line for a bit, because otherwise you cannot have enough units to deal with the Oracle, right? So keep that in mind. Besides that, the follow-up and stuff was all very, very clean. I went for Blink. I matched him in gateway count because I knew I had more eco. Slowly got the upgrades, reacted to his army making the Archons, and that was just a fantastic PvP game. We might do another one. I'm not sure. Depends on what we run into, but we're definitely going to get at least one more PvT. Let's see what we get for the next game. Okay, game number 4 is going to be our first Terran. Now, you guys didn't get to see this, but I just played 6 more Zergs in a row. I thought 2 PvZs was enough for the video, so I've really been trying to find another Protoss in Terran, but then I literally played 6 Zergs in a row, so that was a little painful for me. But now we finally got our Terran. That means that at least we're gonna have that minimum of 1 game per matchup, and then after we can see if we want to do a couple more for either another PvP or another PvT. Now, I think PvT is a really strong matchup for Protoss right now, but this is the matchup that resonates the strongest with what I said in the intro, where I said you have to play a very specific style. So pretty much why Protoss is strong right now is I think Protoss players have, first of all, figured out the builds extremely well, right? They know how to get to the macro game very well, they know how to be safe, and the introduction of energy recharge. So a big factor in TVP is the fact that Terran can surprise you with a lot of crap. This is probably, if there's a couple Protoss players watching that struggle with Terran, it's like, how's Protoss good against Terran? I've lost against this build and this one and this one. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. But if you open up with the Sentry, you can now just see all of them from like minute 3. Like something ridiculously early like that. And then you can defend them pretty easily if you know what you're doing. And then the macro style is pretty much you play on a low gas count, usually 4. You get Zealot, Stalkers, Colossus, and upgrades. Though Storm is actually getting more popular. I still think Colossus is probably the easiest way to beat high-level Terrans, but maybe if you're playing like against the literal world champion, you might want to play Storm. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to be playing Colossus here today. I'm going to go Cyber before Nexus. Is he trying to trick me here? That's a slightly late command center. Okay, yeah, this... Actually, well, he did scout at a ridiculously early time. I saw an SCV in my base as well. I think I'm gonna... Yeah, okay, the command center is going down now. Normally, Terrans can be very, very, very freaking tricky, guys. So if they have SCVs on the low ground, but there's no command center on time, should be about 140, you might want to start thinking about proxies. In this case... I'm also going to think about proxies, but a different kind. Let me explain. He scouted super early. That obviously delays the command center, right? But it could have been that I wasn't paying enough attention, but I didn't see the SCV come back. Oh, I didn't saturate my gas. Oh, that's a little... I was wondering. I was trying to make my sentry, but I couldn't. Okay, that's a bit annoying. Yeah, okay. So it's possible that he proxied something with that SCV. That would be a starport or a factory, right? Secondary factory, that is. Not quite sure yet how I'm gonna handle it. Now, I made a mistake with my gas, which is a little painful. I'm still gonna try and stick to the regular build order so you guys can see. So, in this case, I could have made... Oh, he's actually a little crazy for doing this. Yeah, I'm gonna be able to kill this Reaper now, which is very, very nice for me. Normally, you make the Twilight Council before the Gateway. In this case, since I messed up my gas, I could have made the Gateway first, but this is the normal order of things. Twilight Council, Gateway, Blink, Robo, third Gateway. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Then we're gonna send out this Phoenix. Now, because I am a little bit suspicious, I'm gonna add a blind battery here. This is not entirely necessary, but I mean, I still never saw that SCV come back, so just to be safe, I'm gonna make that battery. Once again, don't think I'll be needing it, but I mean, might as well. Like, it's gonna be nice to have later anyway. The one thing I like to do is to... Actually, I'm gonna make the Robo first, after Blink, like I said. I like to spread my pylons a little early, so I'm gonna make a pylon over there already. Now, I'm just gonna hallucinate another Phoenix, and then another one, and I'm just gonna keep getting free vision for the rest of the game. Now, if your opponent's playing greedy, I would recommend that you go for a 2-gate expansion. If they're playing a little more middle of the road like this, I like to go for 3-gate. It's going to keep you safe, and you're going to have enough units to put on the aggression, which is nice. I'm going to make another pylon over here already. Let's see. Okay, looks like it's going to be a Widowmine drop. This is the easiest thing to play against with the Hallucinated Phoenix because you can literally just do this. Like, it's insane. And now, this is the risky part, what I'm gonna do. I mean, it's not that risky if you pay attention, really. But you can just position your Stalkers in advance to intercept that medevac, because I know exactly where it is. That was the fastest reaction time possible. Like, taking 0 damage from that is kind of crazy, not gonna lie. Okay, so now I can just recharge it again. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna patrol my Phoenix over there. Put 2 Stalkers over here, 2 over here, and then we're gonna be chilling. Now, I made a Warp Prism first. I really like going for the counter-aggression fast. And if you make an instant Warp Prism, you can do just that. Okay, so we see the medevac here. Might as well wait a little bit. He's not gonna want to do this because, yeah, I don't think he realized there were gonna be those extra Stalkers. Okay, let me just pull some workers so I can trigger those Widow Mines easily. There you go. Could have used my Blink Stalkers as well. Didn't really realize it was going to be finishing that early. Okay, so we're gonna go across with the Prism. Just gonna put on some light aggression, really. Looks like he might want to go for some kind of timing attack. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys what my standard follow-up is anyway, because if you play this well, you should be safe no matter what. You go for 3rd and 4th gas, Robo Bay, and then 3 more gateways. And then you're gonna add charge as well. If you're gonna get attacked by something aggressive, you probably could have been warping in more units all this time. I personally, yeah, I usually feel pretty safe if someone goes for a Widow Mine drop at least, because the follow-up from that is not super strong. Now, this is why this is really annoying, because you can just kind of target SCVs one by one, and you can even blink out. You can do something like this, you blink out, you know, you put them in the Prism, go to the next base. Probably a tank here somewhere, exactly. Let me just put the low HP one in there. I think that's barely out of range, exactly, so we're gonna kill more workers. I can go back to the main here. This is a little risky, but I mean, I kind of like playing risky, so why not? Let me make a couple more pylons before I get blocked entirely. And then the safest way to play this is to recall this Prism. You can also keep it around for a while, like I got my Observer over there, which is nice. Gonna start warping in Zealots. One thing that I noticed that makes my play a lot stronger is if I don't make too many Stalkers, even though it's tempting. Like, you can see that I have a lot of... Oh, this is actually brutal. He's sure that I recalled this. Like, you can tell he thought that I recalled this one, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, that would have been the sensible move to make, so that is a little painful for him. Okay, I'm just gonna keep these Stalkers over here chilling. I can actually blink... Oh, that was not the best move there, I'll be honest. Okay, I'm gonna warp in a couple more. Did I... Oh, there's my Robo, or my Colossus, rather. Can I kill that one? Yes, I can. Now, he does have 2 tanks. How we're gonna deal with this is quite simple. You just want to attack and just kite the army and the tanks. And then at some point we're gonna win. I mean, I might sound a little more confident than you would expect because his army is scary, but this game should be 100% over. If he wasn't attacking me and if I wasn't so far ahead, I would have made the double forge a little earlier. Now, he's going for an SCV pull. A little bit of an... Well, not a little bit, actually. It's very important. SCV pulls are very, very, very common. A lot of you are going to struggle with those a lot. My production is so much better than his. Like, I kept every warp and I get 6 more Zealots, which is crazy. You really just want to buy as much time as possible. You can even lose the 3rd base here. In this case, I'm just going to go for it because I know I'm going to clean it up anyway. Like, I don't have to wait for, you know... look at his supply here, right? Like, he has 15 SCVs at home. His mining's absolutely terrible. Here, you can sacrifice the 3rd base easily and you would be fine. In this case, I knew I was going to kill him for sure, just because I knew his army was small. I already got a couple of good swipes with the Colossus. He used a lot of stims, so I knew that I could A-move him. But normally, if they do this kind of attack, most of the time, I think you're going to give up your 3rd base if they pull SCVs, by the way. If they don't pull SCVs, obviously, you don't want to lose it. If they pull SCVs like this, you just want to kite, and then if he sieges here, it looks scary. You know he doesn't have SCVs. Just go back here. In fact, an extra tip that I would give against this specific stuff, I don't see it that often anymore in my personal games that the SCV pull with tanks. But here, I made the double forge pretty much to demonstrate that, you know, that would be the follow-up here. But what would be smarter for the purpose of holding this all in would be making a Templar Archives. Then you can make 2 Archons. Archons are insanely good against tank pushes. Archons only become bad. They have a bad name because of ghosts, right? They get EMP'd and then Archons suck. But there are no ghosts here, and if there's no ghost out, Archons are absolutely freaking insane. So that's the ideal composition against tank push. It's pretty much Zealot, Archon, Colossus. Obviously, if it's a very early push like this, you might not have time to get Archon, so then you'd rather get Zealot, Stalker, Colossus. Now, this was a very particular kind of game. I think I would love to get another PvT in there, and maybe one more PvP as well. Okay, game 5 is against another Terran player. This one is called Mosquito, so I'm sure he's going to try to be very annoying. I mean, I feel like that's the kind of name I would take on one of my accounts, and I'm obviously very annoying to play against, so it speaks for itself, really. Okay, so this game, I'm sure is going to be different. I feel like games against Terran are not often the same. But my style is going to remain similar. Ideally, this game drags on for a little longer, so I can show a little bit of the, prolonged PvT. I think the late game is not really my specialty in PvT in particular. It's still good for Protoss, but it gets a bit more tricky, because the way you play the late game as Protoss is that you just become super rich and you just walk around all the time. But at the same time, you do need to start adding tech units into your army, because if your army is really only Zealots, if they max out on, Mass Ghost, Marauder, Medevac, whatever, you're going to trade a little bit too poorly. So then you really want to play a little more sophisticated, add Storms and Disruptors, stuff like that. But in general, if you master what I've shown you in the last game, and what I'm hopefully going to show you in this game as well, the first, let's say, 7 minutes of the game, you should win most of your PvTs by default. Like, I really think that 80% plus of the wins are just born from being good in the early game and doing your scouting and knowing how to react to the different stuffs. I think I'm actually... Yeah, I was about to kill that. That would have been very painful for him. Can confirm as a Terran, there's no more mental damage that you can take than losing an SCV early on to a freaking probe. Probes are already annoying as it is, so... Oh, it's just a one gas opening. I'm kind of surprised we're not going up against double gas here, because that is what I see most commonly, but that is alright. If I play against the double gas, just so you guys know, my build is not necessarily different. Two things that I might change is if I play against double gas and I see that they're going for Reaper Hellion, is I would make a battery in the main. You can also build a battery on the front. On maps like this for sure, because there's no Reaper Cliff into the main base. But most maps are going to have a Reaper Cliff into the main. And then I think having the battery there is nicer, because then you can just put all of your units on the front, right? Another thing that I might change is that I could... skip a couple workers to make the wall off faster. And then there is a third trick that you can use, which is actually quite nice. Is if you, let's say, you put a gateway here and a gateway here. Sometimes what they do is they'll use their Reaper Grenade to push your units out of the way and then just run past into the main. But since you're gonna go for the Sentry with the energy recharge, you can scout with the Phoenix and you'll still have a force field. So if you put those two buildings down, you're gonna have enough energy to scout and go for the force field, which is really nice. I think I just put my Phoenix back by accident. Yeah, I did. Now, oh yeah, a little bit of a switch up here too. Since I'm not going up against anything aggressive, I did chrono boost my... Wait, was the last game a double gas? I feel like I'm confused now. Was the last game a double gas? I don't remember what that was. No, it wasn't. I don't think I chrono boosted my workers as much last game, but yeah, if you're playing against a regular Reaper Expand, you do want to chrono boost your workers. If you're playing against double gas, you actually don't really have to do that, so that is pretty chill. There's a Hellion out here, which is interesting. It doesn't have to mean that much, but it's something to keep in mind. Gonna make the pylon over here. You can see Blink is on the way. Second gateway was built, and now after Blink, we're gonna make the Robo. Yeah, on maps like this, it's really easy to deny scouting because there's just no Reaper Cliff into the main. Makes it pretty annoying for Terran players to play. Actually, I don't want to take this base yet. Let's not mind game myself into taking that. Gonna make a little bit of a wall off here. Ooh, I am gonna lose one probe. Not the biggest deal ever, but it is perhaps slightly annoying. Let's see. Make sure to hotkey this one as well. I do want to take my base soon. He is most likely making a medevac there. What I can do is hallucinate another Phoenix. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Or no, I was definitely going to hallucinate another Phoenix. I was just wondering whether I should use the energy recharge again, but it came offline fast enough. Oh, maybe I can kill that Reaper. That would be delicious. I don't think we're going to get it though. I shot something, but it was probably a Hellion, I think. Now let's see, medevac is over here. You see how annoying this freaking scouting is? Like, it really is just super annoying to go up against, right? Like, if you do a medevac, like, you want to do some harassment against Protoss, but they just always see it. Hey, he's going to have to go back right away. The Phoenix is going to track that for a very long time. Now I'm going to go for the Prism. Did I make a... I think I made a pylon, but I'm not 100% sure. Keep these guys here. These can go to the front. And then the follow-up is going to be the same as last game. We get those extra gases. I do wonder what is even inside that medevac, by the way. Like... He had a Reaper and is it really just Marines and one Widowmine? I think that is probably what it is, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go for the Robo Bay here. You can make the Forge a little earlier if you think you're not gonna get pushed, but since most of the time I just feel like I have a lead, I think it's okay to just... I saw a Raven somewhere. My brain detected it, but I didn't quite realize where it was. That's a little bit annoying for me, actually. Am I crazy or did I see a Raven? I swear my brain saw a Raven. Oh, okay, it's over there. I see it, yeah. Okay, let me just click away those probes, and I'm gonna drop into the main. Then make sure to not forget Charger. It's a pretty easy upgrade to forget sometimes if you're busy. Go for the attack over here. Start mining from this base again. Like, this is already very annoying damage. And he can't really fully run away, because then I'm gonna kill a tech lab. Exactly, so he came back. I'm just gonna go down here. Don't have to force the issue too much, of course. Oh, those are both in the same spot. I'm actually going to put an observer here so I can see drops coming. I'm going to make a Forge this time because it doesn't seem like he's going to be pushing me as aggressively. And this is... I think you guys can see it why I think that Protoss is strong in this matchup. Like, you just really have all the vision. And my third is already saturated before he even... Like, he probably started it if I had to guess, but it's not going to finish anywhere near my third base. I'm going to drop... Wait, does he even have... I don't think he has siege tanks. I think he might have skipped siege tanks. There we go. I think that's another 4 workers going down, which is painful. And yeah, I mean, I just don't think we're in any rush at all to do anything. I could also go for armor upgrades. Now, here is something crazy that you guys might not expect. But as Protoss, you really want to end up taking an infinite amount of bases, pretty much. Like, I'm gearing up to take my 4th before he has taken even his 3rd base, right? And that's a pretty normal thing to do. In fact, in the macro games, for the most part, you're going to end up having... Ooh, need to be careful. That actually gave me a little bit of a jump scare. I had a feeling that it was going to be there, but it still gave me a jump scare. Okay, going to be a little bit of the same situation. He is moving across with this. I think I'm going to... Actually, I wanted to recall that, but I didn't have one. I can... Okay, I'm going to... Ooh, okay, that's a good timing by him. Should have unloaded those Stalkers, is my bad. I'm playing very relaxed here. You want to be careful with this, but I'm playing very relaxed just because I'm pretty confident that I am owning him. But obviously you don't want to lose 4 Stalkers in the Prism. Oh, just so you guys know, by the way. Okay, he just leaves. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I guess he just thought he was dead. There's a little bit of an anticlimactic ending here, to be honest. I mean, as you can see, this is what the situation is in a normal TVP after... Just not really that much has happened. I'm up by 20 workers. My army... And don't get me wrong here, right? The supply is even. Well, technically I'm up by, like, what is that? 12 supply, because I can warp in 6 units in a little bit, right? But the army supply is relatively even. But with an army like this, you can just never push into these Colossus. I was about to have range and a 3rd Colossus. Probably should have chrono boosted range a little more. But this is just a standard situation of a TVP. I have a 4th base. He didn't even build a 3rd. He is going for a 2 base all-in, by the way. And he still can't beat my army. So really, the first 7 minutes is what you want to master. Keep in mind, I just lost 4 Stalkers, by the way. So that is 8 supply, plus the 12 I was going to warp in. Meaning I was going to have 138 supply. I was also going to have an upgrade pretty soon. 4th base was almost finished. And this is just what a standard PvT looks like. You really just want to make sure that you get the early game going. Maybe you want to be a little more relaxed with the Prism, because here I lost it after I already killed a very decent amount of SCVs. If you lose it right away, then you might be in trouble, because then what happens is he can just send his medevacs across right away, right? You don't have as many Stalkers, you have to spend gas warping in Stalkers, so maybe be a little more conservative with that. But I think these 2 games were very good examples of a good PvT, because I didn't play perfect at all. The last game I messed something up pretty badly. Yeah, I remember I wasn't even mining gas, so I couldn't even afford my Twilight Council and stuff. Besides that, I feel like I did another thing wrong, but I'm not sure here. I just lost a prism with 4 stalkers. The warp-ins, even if they die, you can just warp them in again. It's not like I lost 10 units. I only lost 4 there. But I guess that is it for the PvTs. I feel like it's pretty clear. And let's try and hunt a final PvP. Okay, we have a Protoss player. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I am absolutely tired because this is game number 19 for me. And I'm not even exaggerating. I played freaking all of them. I've been searching and playing for this long just to get a second Protoss, which is crazy because normally the ladder is infested with Protoss, but alright, here we are. I've seen this guy's name before. He could have even been the first Protoss we played against, but at this point, I mean, that is so long ago that I actually do not remember. Okay, now we are gonna 1 gate expand again. You guys will still remember what I said in the other PvP because, you know, for you guys it's not that long ago. For me it's a while. I think I remember the game quite well actually. It was 1 gate expand against 1 gate expand. My opponent went for a very greedy style where he went for a 1 gate expand without walling off and then he went straight into the Twilight. Well, 1 gate expanding is actually pretty rare on the ladder, so I think this game is probably going to be a more accurate representation of a ladder PvP, really. I expect him to go for 2 gate and very likely all-in me when he sees I'm 1 gate expanding. Okay, so I checked the watchtower and I didn't see a probe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip the second pylon and the second gas and just go straight for this nexus. You guys remember from the other game, if you do see a probe early on, which is pretty much a gate scout, here's the second gate like I predicted, then you have to make the pylon and the second gas before because your nexus is going to get blocked anyway. But now this is going to be very comfortable, and especially for the robo version that I like to do, this is really, really nice to be able to take it early. Now we're going to use this probe in the same way as we did in the PvZ, which is that we're just going to be harassing his mineral line for a bit because that is super annoying. Now, his probe, I did not see it on my side, so it could be that he went for a proxy instantly. I'm gonna make my second pylon down here, that is quite important. Okay, this is a really big scout here. We see, this is what you pay attention to when you scout the Protoss base, by the way. We see that there is not a second pylon here, which means he pretty much just proxied as fast as he could. He proxied his second pylon. He could have faked it, but it's unlikely. So I'm gonna go for the fastest possible robo before even any gateway unit. Then I'm going to start a stalker. And the battery, this is pretty nice when you look at saturation. The battery on the low ground you can build with the first probe you rally to the natural, and you do that by saturation. 16 out of 16, 3 out of 3, 3 out of 3. Now you do kind of want to get a little bit of scouting on the map so you know exactly what it is. That'd be nice. Now what I would advise you to do, guys, is I would advise you to check for the weakness of your build, which in this case would be a Stargate. A Stargate would be proxied close by air, so that is what I'm going to check for. Now you have to keep at least... he's going to try to do that. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's going to be... Actually, I'm going to pull some probes to kill that, because otherwise it's going to be annoying. You need to keep 1 probe in the wall, so you can wall off against a depth. Okay, so now we know it's a Stalker. It's not going to be a depth, so I can move this probe as well. Now, judging by that pylon, I am pretty certain this is going to be a gateway proxy. So we can just keep chrono boosting Immortals. When you want to switch it up is, if it's a robo, you might need to get a faster warp prism. Sadly, we have not found it yet. Oh, I can actually do something pretty disgusting here, by the way. Okay, look, I think the game was very close to ending immediately there, by the way. I'm not kidding. If I got a force field on that... Oh, that is going to be annoying for sure. If I got a force field on that, he would have lost the Immortal instantly and the game would have ended. There you go. Decent force field over here, exactly. So those adepts are going to die. Keep in mind my eco is just straight up better, right, with the expansion and all. So not the biggest deal to lose a couple of workers. And now it is time for the Warp Prism. Because he could totally go for the main base, which would be incredibly annoying. Exactly, there we go. I'm just going to micro this a little bit. I already have my second Immortal and he doesn't, so we're pretty safe for now. Move that Immortal to that base, warp in a sentry. Guardian Shield maybe wasn't the best idea, actually. I don't think that was entirely necessary. And now, yeah, the advantage that we have is just that we have more chrono boost, so we're going to get our stuff out faster. That's basically the thing here, right? Like, he is going to have more gateway units, but I'm going to get our stuff out faster. You can decide to make mass battery. You can also just keep making probes non-stop. I kind of like the probe option. because probes are really good being pulled into battles. That is not entirely the case if he goes for adept, so you want to be careful for that. Okay, here we go. Ooh, need to micro that properly. Indeed. Gonna be perfectly fine. I have one more immortal than him now, and now we can just go for it. Pretty much how you want to micro this is you just use the War Prism for the pickup range. That really is about it. I do have a lot of force fields here. The problem is that it's hard to force field against a prism, because you can just pick up the units that get force fielded out, right? So that's a little problematic. I do think staying in front of your base is pretty good, so you can see where he's going. Yeah, exactly. So now he's going to go out with that. Then I'm going to do something incredibly risky here that I don't necessarily recommend, is I am going to go and kill this pylon, basically. Here we go. Yeah, okay, so he put 2 immortals in that prism. Exactly. I have 2 immortals at home. I can pull some workers with this as well. Second immortal finishing, and this is going to be quite nice. What he's trying to do is he's trying to out-micro me with that prism, which is okay. Oh, I could have maybe killed it if I was paying attention. That's my bad. Now I'm going to make a secondary prism because we have held this attack. It's always going to be a little scary, by the way, because you can just fly around and be incredibly annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a Stargate. I think that's a nice idea. Now, if I was a little more YOLO, I could have moved across here with everything that I had. Since I do expect him to continue being annoying, I'm just going to send the prism across the map. Actually, there's another idea that I have here, is that I could go for 2 Stargate Phoenix, because I kill this Robo. It's not going to have Blink that fast. I have enough Immortals that Blink Stalkers are not that scary anyway later on. But maybe that is a good idea. I'm just going to try and snipe this pylon right away. Oh, he did make a second one, unfortunately for me. Okay, it looks like he's going for charge, right? Okay, I'm just gonna do it, frick it, why not? Experiment live in the video while we're trying to teach you guys how to play like a pro. It's fun, why not, right? Oh, yeah, okay, it looks like he's gonna go for charge, indeed. I gotta feed... Actually, wait, guys, this is really good for us. He used his recall already. He might be able to save... Oh, gotta be careful here. He might be... Yeah, he's gonna be able to save them, I think. Oh, this is very risky by me, by the way. Okay, that's a little bit psychotic, I can't lie. Flying that over the Stalkers for that is a little crazy. Let's see if I can out-micro this, that would be hilarious. I think we are going to be able to. Okay. So now we just have to recall at the right time, basically. I think that time is now. Yeah, let's go for the recall over there. And now, well, we did lose a little bit of mining, which is annoying. Yeah, I'm not going to be able... I think I'm just going to have to add a couple gateways here, to be honest. Like, we're going to be ahead in tech and eco and whatever. Actually, I have a second prism. You know what? I can just go again, actually. I'm quite sure he's going to try to hit me with a timing attack. I guess the initial plan was to go for Mass Phoenix. I'm not going to be able to afford that, so I'm going to do something else instead. I'm just going to add a bunch of gateways. Keep in mind, you don't necessarily... Like, I was going to go for glaives. I don't necessarily need glaives for my adepts to be good against his zealots, right? He has no gas, as you can see, so that means he's not going to be able to get that many stalkers out. I think my harassment is going to be quite effective. And actually, I think we're kind of chilling for now. Like, this really is a surprisingly good situation, because if he doesn't have Archons, he's not going to be able to break force fields either. It's a very annoying situation for him to be in, I think, because I'm just sitting back. Just going to make sure... Oh, wait, he does... Okay, he does have the Templar Archive, so he is probably going to go for at least 1 Archon, I would think. I don't know how many he can afford. It's going to be at least 1 Archon, and he's going to try to use it to break the force field. Let me hotkey my Phoenixes in advance so I can lift up his Immortals, because that is most likely what's going to be happening here. As you can see, he does have charge. That Zealot's gonna die. Like, this is just... Like, if you don't have Blink, you know how annoying this is? Like, this is the most annoying thing that I could be doing to him right now. And he's just waiting. He's waiting for me to... well, actually, I can force field behind... I might as well live though. I can force field behind the Archons, I think. He's not gonna be necessary, looks like. Okay, now I'm just gonna live those Immortals. There we go. Phoenix is super, super good against Immortals no matter what. Even if there's Archons. Actually, I can recharge that battery. Oh, okay, I barely lost 1 more Immortal there, unfortunately. I recharged the battery so I could heal up the 1 Immortal that was low. And there you go. I think this is probably, if you're going to play 1 gate expand into Robo, this is the medium situation. I'm not sure if I explained it in the other PvP actually. I'm not sure if I got time to. But if you play this 1 gate expand into Robo, if they go for a gateway proxy, which is actually what I was expecting, by the way, then you should pretty much win for free because you can't break this by playing Stalkers. Like, that really should be a 100% win for you. If they go Oracle, a lot of people would think you lose for free. I think there's actually a chance, but you have to find the Stargate, and that's why I went here with the probe. If you're in a situation where you have a Zealot, because let's say your Nexus gets blocked, you can also use the Zealot to scout, and then if it's a Stargate, you can reposition your units, maybe go for the batteries instead, and for a second gateway a little faster, then you can survive. And if you play against that proxy Robo, then that is going to be the most even game, like you saw here. I think I outplayed them a little bit with the moves early on, like I managed to defend it pretty well. I had enough units for the Prism, didn't lose anything in the main. Here I also didn't lose anything besides the battery. I sniped the Robo, and we got ourselves into a slightly ahead position. He transitioned fast. Oh, this is actually very interesting. Okay. One more thing before I let you guys go. Typically, they will have more gateway units. You guys might have been surprised because I said he will have more gateway units than me, but he didn't. And now I finally understand why I was confused. He did an extremely rare 2-gate proxy Robo. Normally, it's 3-gate. So what he was thinking is that he would just get enough damage and then transition. So he was really... That's why he had a fast Prism. He really wanted to get into the main. Maybe even use a Sentry to force field this and kill probes. So that was what his idea was this game. Normally they go for 3-gate and they'll try to brute force the front. And that's where it gets difficult because what they will do is they will warp mass adepts. Immortals don't do that much damage and it's going to be a lot of micro. In that case, you will indeed need more batteries, but you guys are going to have to figure out exactly what that balance is. Like, do you make more batteries? Do you make more probes? Depends on if they make adepts or stalkers. But that's pretty much how it goes. So we got 2 games for every matchup. If you guys have questions after this eternally long video, make sure to leave it in the comments. I'll have a look. And if not, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. Adios.